That is a grand total of income of $5,500,000. Give me the next one, please. $5,552,000 in income. So you can see where the tithing message is going. That should be a budget of $500,000 for this church if we have 100 giving units. Now, we don't have 100 giving units. Okay, we don't have that. But my point is, there's a lot of money sitting in this room. And we should be thankful because we are incredibly blessed. I don't know if you saw the little thing on TV last night, but one of the questions that was asked to John McCain was, how do you define rich in terms of taxes? How do you define rich? And his answer was, you know what? Rich is an education and a home and food. You know, and his answer wasn't $1 until the very end of his little comment, but his whole point was, don't forget what we do have. And we have been incredibly blessed. And for us to go to God and say, dear God, please bless us. Oh, come on. Come on. You don't have to go very far to find people who wish they could be this blessed. Here's some other things about East Orlando, our neighbors. 73% of our neighbors were born since 1961. That means they're 37 years old or under. The average age is 34. 32% of them are single parents. 24%, which happens to be the national average, are college graduates. That means 3 out of 4 people in our area. Now that includes children, because they're not old enough yet to graduate. Who is East Orlando? 30% go to church moderately, 32% say they have a strong faith involvement, 77% say they prefer historic Christian tradition, and 15% they have no religious preference. Who else is East Orlando? Well, they have average faith receptivity, means they're open to it, average like everybody else. But look at what their church program preference is. Recreation. Like what? Oh, I don't know, like cookouts and go-kart nights. Serious. That's what will attract them. Softball leagues, golf leagues, a gymnasium. Those are things that people want. And that's what our community is saying that they want to be involved in. They want a somewhat contemporary atmosphere. That means typical, traditional, old-fashioned church isn't going to make it very long in East Orlando. That's what that means. So we got to know our neighbors. And our neighbors are changing. How are we going to connect people to people and people to God? Pretty easy. We're going to do it through relationships, because relationships are what make the world go round. I would challenge you to think of your best friend and the great time you had over at their house and try to remember what they served you for dinner. Because you can't remember. What you remember is your friends. And you remember the relationship that you had. And for us as a church, ministry is not about programs, it's not about budgets, it's not about buildings, it's not about that. It's about relationships. And so that's why we have connections, the family groups. And you need to plan to be a part of one. They're going to be at different times during the week. You need to be a part of one of those groups. They need you and you need them. The other thing is that as a church, we want you to know about Christ. That's one of the things it said. We want you to know. We want people to come to know Christ, but we also want you to be informed. There's nothing worse than an ignorant Christian that doesn't know what they're talking about. And we need to know what we're doing. Second, we need to grow. We need people to grow. And so we're going to provide education opportunities for you. And we do it through our worship. It's an opportunity for you to grow. And I got something I need to tell you. Our worship time, I enjoy this very much. But in my heart of hearts, I'm not a worship leader. I'm a teacher. That's what I do. I like doing that. It's fun, but I don't lay awake at night thinking about that. I lay awake thinking about this. And what we need is a man or a woman who's passionate, who can't sleep because they think about that, not this. And I have some incredible news. Friday night, James and Juanita White called me while we were at the go-kart place and have agreed to come serve as our worship pastor beginning September the 1st. All right. And I've been sitting on that for 2 days. Remember when I told you on Friday night? I said, I don't need you to lead worship now. I can't tell you 2 things. How excited I am about what that's going to do for our church. But also, just in terms of our staff, and James and his wife are African American, and they're great, wonderful, tender people, and amazingly talented. But it's going to allow me to do what I do best, so that he can do what he does best. And you guys are going to love it. I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you this. On that Wednesday night, the 3rd, that'll be the first night they're with us. We're just going to hang out with them a little bit during the small group thing. And you guys are going to love these people. You're going to love them. And so I'm very excited about that. We want to teach you how to show your faith to people through missions and through outreach projects. We also want you to go and serve people at your jobs and at school and wherever it is you play. Because the truth is that in the end, in a nutshell, the goal is the same old thing. Connecting people to people and people to God. Lastly is this. This church's mission is your mission. And I need you to hear this because this is really important. When I was in my master's program, they taught us this phrase. It was a word called vision casting. And vision casting is a leadership technique. And the concept is throw the vision out there like a net. Throw the vision out there and say, here you go. And everybody buys into the vision. Everybody comes alongside the vision. You can read books about this by Andy Stanley, and Bill Hybels, and John Maxwell, and Harold Blackaby, and all these people. They're incredible writers and this idea of vision casting. And so one of my roles is to continually cast the vision of the people, of God, out in front of the people, and the people are supposed to be drawn to the vision. Okay? Typically, most churches, it looks like this. It's a pyramid. And it looks like this. And at the... Keep going. Right there. Down here, this says vision. Then you got staff, congregation, ministries, mission staff. And up here, this is friends. And so all of us buy into this vision to help somehow help Friends Community Church become what it's supposed to be. Okay? That's the model for most churches. Now, I want you to listen. I have thought about this for 3 years. I have argued with myself over this all summer. I met with Max. Max is my coach. And I told Max what I was going to say, and Max said, Tom, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. And I said, well, so be it. I want you to listen. This church is not asking you to buy into our vision. And here's why. We're asking you to let us be a part of your vision. And here is why. When I was up in Wisconsin, July 4th week, I read all 4 Gospels. I read them from start to finish. Not one time did Jesus do vision casting. Not one time did he say, hey guys, here's the plan. Catch up. Come on. You do it. No, come on. Not one time. And I'm not interested in being like Bill Hybels. I'm interested in being like Jesus. And so, what Jesus said to people was, hey dude, you like to fish? Come with me. I will make you a fisher of men. Come on, let me be your guide. Not let me tell you what to do. And I want you to know, I'm not interested in you selling out for our vision. I'm interested in us selling out for your vision. And instead of the pyramid, the model looks